It feels like we're absolutely wired, doesn't it? Always looking ahead for the next big thing, the next milestone, maybe the next job. Whatever it is we think holds the key to, happiness.
Yeah, that destination thinking. It's so common.
Right. And we end up sprinting through our days,
Yeah.
almost heads down, just ticking boxes, waiting for the real good stuff to start.
Missing life as it's actually happening, those little moments.
Exactly. The quiet details, the simple beauty that's right there, but we just zoom past it. So what if happiness isn't that finish line? What if it's like woven into just your normal, ordinary day?
That focus on the future, that persistent striving, as some of the sources call it, it really can create a kind of tunnel vision.
Yeah.
We're so focused on getting somewhere else that we completely miss the richness right here.
Precisely. And that is exactly what we're going to dive into today. You shared some really fascinating stuff with us. Research, articles, ideas from health, psychology, well-being, all exploring this idea. How do we shift perspective? How do we anchor ourselves, like right now? And crucially, how do we find real joy, not just in the big wins, but in the small, often overlooked stuff around us?
So the mission really for this deep dive is to unpack all that material, pull out the practical tools, the actionable techniques.
Things you can actually do.
Right. Simple ways to nudge you out of that autopilot mode we all fall into, to cultivate a bit more presence, maybe a bit more appreciation for the life you've got right now.
Okay, let's dig in. So these sources, they lay out several exercises. Pretty practical stuff, seems like, all rooted in mindfulness.
Yeah, very much so. They offer these clear step-by-step ways to kind of re-engage, and they start with something really fundamental, something to bring you back when, things feel a bit much.
Okay.
It's called 5-finger breathing, and it's presented as just this incredibly simple, quick, calming practice.
Simple. Okay, I like simple.
Well, it's often taught to kids. It's that straightforward, but don't let that fool you. It's actually really effective.
Right. Simple doesn't mean weak. So the material says the power is in that simplicity, but also how it engages different senses at once.
That's it. It pulls your focus away from all those swirling thoughts, the mental chatter, and brings it right back into your physical body, right here, right now.
How does it work then? Step by step.
Okay, so you hold one hand out, just comfortably, fingers slightly spread. Then you take the index finger of your other hand.
Got it.
And you slowly trace the outline of that outstretched hand. But here's the key. You match your breath to the movement.
Ah, okay. So as you trace
up the side of, say, your thumb, you inhale slowly, nice and steady.
Okay.
When you get to the top of the thumb, you pause just for a bead. Then as you trace down the other side, you exhale slowly.
Inhale up, exhale down for each finger.
Exactly. You move across the hand, inhale up the index finger, exhale down. Inhale up the middle finger, exhale down, all the way to the pinky.
Okay, I can picture that. It sounds quite rhythmic.
It is. And the sources suggest if you've got a moment longer, you can even reverse it. Trace back from the pinky to the thumb, keeping that same slow breath pattern.
What I like about that, and what the sources seem to highlight, is how portable it is. You could do this literally anywhere.
Totally. In a stressful meeting, waiting in that long queue at the shop, feeling overwhelmed.
And it's discreet too.
Very. It's like this instant little anchor, a physical signal to your nervous system saying, okay, pause, come back.
It feels like a necessary first step. You've got to be grounded, sort of present in your own body before you can really start noticing anything else, like the beauty around you.
Absolutely. If your mind's off racing, you're just not going to see the amazing pattern on a leaf or appreciate, the simple act of turning a key and a lock. This breathing thing, it's like hitting a mini reset button.
Right. It creates this space.
Exactly. The space for awareness to actually happen.
Okay. So once you've maybe used something like that to ground yourself, the sources then sort of guide us outwards towards mindful observation. This sounds like where we start actively connecting with those small acts of beauty we talked about.
Yeah, this one's described as deceptively simple again, but incredibly powerful, helping you notice and appreciate ordinary things in a more profound way.
So it's about shifting how you look, not just glancing.
Precisely. The basic instruction is choose a natural object, anything nearby. Could be a flower, a pebble, an insect walking past, the clouds.
A raindrop on the window.
Perfect. And then just focus on it for maybe a minute or two. Not long.
Okay, just look at it.
But it's about the quality of the looking. The sources say, do not do anything except notice. Simply relax into watching. It means dropping the urge to label it, judge it, figure it out. Just be with it.
Right. And here's the bit I found really interesting, the key instruction they give.
Yes,
Look at this object as if you were seeing it for the very first time.
that feels like the core of it.
It really is. It's almost like a little cognitive trick, isn't it? It bypasses our brain's usual efficiency mode.
What do you mean? Well, our brains love to categorize. We see a flower, we think rose, daisy, whatever, file it away and stop really looking. We assume we know it.
Ah, right. Because we've seen a million roses.
Exactly. But seeing it for the first time forces you to suspend that assumption. If you genuinely encountered something totally new, you wouldn't just label it.
No, you'd be curious. You'd really examine it.
Right. You'd start to, as the source says, visually explore every aspect of its formation. You'd let yourself be consumed by its presence, really try to connect with its energy and its purpose.
So that's where the joy comes in. Not needing a spectacular sunset, but finding wonder in, I don't know, the texture of tree bark you walk past every day.
Precisely that. Or the intricate, almost geometric patterns on a fly's wing. Or the subtle color shifts in a seemingly plain gray stone you just picked up. It's about looking deeply at the ordinary world that's already here, not just skimming the surface.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much amazing detail, how much potential wonder we just filter out constantly because our brain says, yep, seen that before, moving on.
A huge amount, probably. That deliberate pause, that focused attention, it really can transform something mundane into something, well, quite special, even beautiful.
Okay, so we've got grounding with breath, then looking outward with mindful observation. And then the sources seem to bring that awareness back inward, right, to our everyday actions.
Yeah, that's the next step, mindful awareness. Applying that same quality of attention, but this time to our routine actions.
The little things we do constantly without thinking.
Exactly. The goal here is cultivating heightened awareness and appreciation for simple daily tasks and the results they achieve. It's about weaving mindfulness into the flow of your day.
This is where they bring in that idea of a touch point. What exactly is that?
A touch point is described as something you do repeatedly throughout the day, usually on autopilot, like opening a door, flicking a light switch, picking up your phone.
Opening your laptop.
Right, things like that. And the instruction is really simple, but again, it's about interrupting that automaticity.
So what do you do?
The moment you do the action, say, your hand touches the doorknob, you just pause, just for a second. And you consciously notice three things. Where am I right now? How do I feel? Physically, emotionally, and where is this action leading me? What happens next?
Okay. So opening the door leads me into the kitchen. Opening the computer lets me start my work. It connects the action to its purpose.
Exactly. It turns these habitual moments into little check-in points. Instead of just rushing through, you use them as cues to become present. And then they mention it's not just physical actions either.
Oh, like what else?
Well, it could be noticing a familiar negative thought popping up. That thought itself can be the touch point. Pause, notice it without judgment. Or maybe noticing the smell of your coffee brewing. Pause. Appreciate that simple pleasure.
That seems really practical. You don't need to set aside extra time for meditation. You just use these tiny moments that are already happening.
Precisely. You're using the structure of your existing day. And the goal isn't just the awareness of the action, but also, as the sources put it, appreciating the blessings these actions bring.
So appreciating that opening the door leads to shelter or food or connection.
Yeah, connecting with the simple gifts these mundane actions actually represent in your life. Finding little pockets of gratitude and presence right in the middle of everything.
Okay, that makes sense. Which then leads us to the final technique discussed, mindful immersion. This sounds like taking that awareness of routine tasks even deeper.
It does feel like a deeper dive, yes. It's really aimed at finding contentment within those routine tasks, especially the ones we tend to just want to get over with, counteracting that persistent striving.
Like chores, maybe? Things you just want finished.
Exactly. The main example they use is cleaning the house. The intention is to try and fully experience that task like never before, instead of just gritting your teeth and getting through it.
Okay, so how do you fully experience cleaning?
Well, the approach is about turning it into an opportunity for engagement. Really pay attention to every detail, trying to create a new experience from something very familiar.
So noticing.
Yeah.
What? The sound of the vacuum.
Yes, or noticing every aspect of your actions. They give these really physical examples. Feel and become emotion when sweeping. Sense the muscles you use when scrubbing. Maybe even develop a more efficient way of wiping.
It sounds almost like a moving meditation, really being in the action.
It is, very much so. Bringing your full awareness, physical, mental, to the task at hand. The sources even encourage getting creative and discover new experiences within a familiar routine. Maybe you notice the patterns the soapy water makes or the rhythm of polishing.
So the big shift here is focusing less on the outcome, the clean house, and more on the process itself.
That's the core idea. You're not just waiting for it to be done. You fully immerse yourself in the progress, aligning yourself with the activity, as they say, physically, mentally, and spiritually.
And the potential reward, the source's hint, is you might actually enjoy it.
Laughs. That's the hook. Who knows? You might even enjoy the cleaning for once.
Okay, I can see the progression now. It's like a toolkit. Start with breath to get grounded. Look outward to find beauty in small things. Bring awareness inward to punctuate your daily actions using touch points. And then dive deep into routines with mindful immersion.
That really sums it up. They're all practical ways to consciously step off that autopilot treadmill and just engage more fully. The consistent thread is that joy and beauty aren't things you necessarily have to find somewhere else. They're often about changing how you experience what's already here.
Yeah, the potential is already in the ordinary things we usually rush past or filter out. So the key lesson, pulling it all together from these sources, it feels really powerful, actually, and hopeful. It's that by cultivating this awareness, this presence, through these pretty simple practices, we can actually uncover beauty and connection and, yes, joy that's already woven into our everyday lives.
It's less about needing a different, better life to be happy,
Right.
and more about learning to see and experience the life you have with more depth, more appreciation.
It really is a reminder that the present moment, however ordinary it feels sometimes, that's where life is actually happening. It holds all this potential if we just learn to notice.
It's always available, waiting to be perceived.
So, thinking about all this, maybe just consider how much energy we often pour into chasing happiness out there somewhere. Future goals, big events, whatever. What if the most reliable, the most sustainable kind of joy is actually waiting right here, just waiting to be noticed in this very moment you're in? So maybe as you go about your day-to-day, what's just one small thing, one tiny detail you could try to truly notice, as if you're seeing it for the very first time?